The best thing a video game can do is really make you feel like the main character. Arkham City makes you feel like Batman. Iggy's Wrecking Balls makes you feel like Wrecking Balls. And the Insomniac Spider games make you feel like Spider-Man. Would it feel the same if you took out the web swinging, voice acting, and iconic costumes? Probably not, but let's try it anyway. On my quest to find the most fun build in Elden Ring, I swung through the game as everyone's favorite wall crawler. If you want to watch these runs live, follow me on Twitch. We make new Elden Ring characters all the time. Join my Patreon if you want to give me money, and to get started, let's take a leap of faith.
Well, howdy there, Danger. How have you been? I don't think that we're foes, we're really good friends.
We get through character creation by painting our face and using the body hair for the red and black costume of Miles Morales. This is sort of an amalgam of all the Spider's mans, but this costume is the easiest to make. Now, let's leap of faith into Limgrave. We're not ready to fight Dr. Octopus. Standard early game errands: buy a crafting kit from Santa, get a spider horse from Spider-Gwen, grab a spider wet blade, save Ben Grimm from a big hole, go to Spider Church for the spider flask, and warp to Grail. There are so many Spider-Man toys out there, you can just put spider in front of a noun and it probably exists. We do a bit of dumpster diving for some early runes. It's not grave robbing. Scoop up the Somber Stone 9 on the way to buy the spiked cestus so we can start punching a dragon. We'll be getting the non-spiked version, it's just locked behind a boss. Dragon dead, our stat requirement for this build is low, so I just dump it into Vigor. While in the area, might as well get half of the Spider Dectus medallion, as well as the Golden Rune and Radigan Sword Seal, which I'll sell because we're already gonna have pretty terrible resistances. In fact, let's go make them worse. The Windy Physic tier is guarded by some murder birds, but it will activate our spider senses. It'll give us 5 extra invincibility frames on our dodge rolls for a total of 31, but unlike every other Physic tier, there's also a negative. Our damage resistance goes down by 15%. Our current armor set, nothing, gives us no resistances, so we really are saying what up, Danger. It'll pair nicely with the strength tier from Limgrave. Into the High Road Cave, that lower damage resistance isn't an issue while fighting Morbius because he just shoves me into a chasm and I die to gravity. He really does morb all over the place. I'm there to battle the Sentinel, a guardian golem that bullies mutants. Spider-Man knows it's not enough to just not be racist, you have to be anti-racist and break a racist's ankles, smash them on the ground. We're rewarded for our activism with the Blue Dancer Charm, raising our damage when we're not wearing a lot of clothing. Our equipment load is so low, we're getting the max boost, around 15%. Better than the Ritual Sword Talisman without having to manage that HP threshold. Nerd Juice attacks us on the way to the pickle recipe, so let's put some dirt in his eye. Fighting him naked is really dangerous since you basically instantly bleed, but we get through it and kill him no problem.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
Patches Thompson also tries to bully us, but that damage boost from the Blue Dancer Charm is no joke. We kill him too.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
Now I think we're ready to get some non-bloody punchers. This was obviously the Venom arc. We need to be a little less lethal of a protector. To get the normal cestus, we have to fight Norgit, the fell goblin, with Doctor Strange. For some reason, this ugly old man really hates us. So let's do some jump attacks and get a stance break off, then spill a bit of goblin blood with our spiked gloves. After he brings out his goblin hammer, we get another stance break, then another one, and then the bleed kills him. For now, Gabi always comes back. Behind the gatekeeper is Gostok, the other gatekeeper that sells the regular cestus. Killing him gives us another pickle though, so
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
I'll just give the bell bearing to the ladies in the spider cave and buy it from them. Now imagine, Spider-Man in Fort Height. We almost got killed by the Fort Knight, but made it out alive with the Dectus Medallion. Since the Moor Goblin gave us another pocket, let's get another talisman in Lernia. After riding around Stormvale and making our way to the lake, we circle back to the Stillwater Cave where Morbius kills us once again. What if Michael Morbius is actually Spider-Man's greatest villain instead of, like 30th, probably? Spider-Man has a lot of great villains. I don't think Morbius is in anyone's top 10. For the Winged Sword Insignia, we have to duke it out with a Clean Rot Knight and narrowly avoid its stab and grab. The Windy tier is so nerve-wracking. You're gonna dodge more hits, but the ones you take are gonna be pretty rough. The Winged Sword Talisman is great for upping the punch damage, increasing our damage the longer our combos go on, and multiplying with the Blue Dancer Charm. For more base damage though, let's go into the Raya Lucaria tunnel, grab a few smithing stones on the way down before getting nuked by the Magical Miner minigun. It's my favorite Beatles album, by the way. Big Wheel at the bottom has a big wheel and some armor. Once you get through the armor though, he flinches every time you punch him. Don't even look at the fight, just watch the stamina and hit the punch button every time it resets so I don't run out. Ta-da! Big Wheel can't attack, and we can buy smithing stones 1 and 2. Leveling up the gloves is great. They're light weapons, and lighter weapons require less runes to level up. I don't really know why. We'll make our way to Altus through the Bellum Church and up the Dectus Lift. Some quick errands up here. I grabbed the Sacred Tear and warped out of another church before we could get Sanguine Nobled, stopped by the Moon Knight Village Grace, got rocked by some ballistas, and got the Lightning Ram Ash of War. It's silly, it's bad, but it allows us to put some lightning affinity on our Cestus. Lightning is a pretty good damage type in Elden Ring. Almost no bosses resist it, so I guess this is officially Miles now. Unless you want it to be Peter or Ben or Porker or Penny or other Peter or Gwen, there's a lot of spider people. Now, we've killed one Clean Rot Knight, yes, but what about a second Clean Rot Knight? Ignoring the poop on the floor of the abandoned cave is harder when you're naked, but we managed to get through unrotted. First one wakes up, we avoid the stab and grab. Some jump attacks are all we need to get her down. Second one, we get a critical hit, always nice, and kill it with jump attacks. I'm pretty consistent on this fight now, but it's definitely not free, especially when I don't have a Spirit Ash. The Golden Scarab boosts our rune acquisition by 20%. It's just gonna make the rest of the game go by much faster. I would like a partner though, so let's get another Spider-Man who can show us the ropes and how to shoot them. The Dexterity tier will help since lightning affinity weapons scale with Dex instead of Faith like previous FromSoft games. Weird. The Caelid Catacombs have a pretty complicated puzzle. You pull a lever, turn around, and go into the boss room.
Can't be that easy. It's that easy.
This boss is a ghost. The Cemetery Shade is a glass cannon to end all glass cannons. Wait, we're a glass cannon. Fighting it without armor is really rough. Its stacks bleed fast normally. Against us, it's basically instant. It can also web us in place, which is terrifying, and it teleports a lot. Still, we only died once before figuring out that the jumping light attack is more accurate against its teleports for some reason. I don't really know why. Our reward is the Kindred of Rot Spirit Ashes, a Peter Parker who can teach us how to use those webs. Let's get educational.
I'm about to start swinging on my mama. I'm about to start swinging. I will break your game, I swear to God!
Peter needs some fries to level up. I know there are a few in the Weeping Peninsula, along with a Golden Seed and some Sacred Tears. The Tombsword Catacombs have the Grave Glovewort fries 1 and 2, and then we can grab another 2 tiers before heading back to the Round Table Hold so Betty Brant can level him up. To learn the web, first we have to watch him use the web against Commander O'Neill and his ghostly Windslash gang, my second favorite Beatles album. To fit the aesthetic of the area, he has some rot attacks, but they're generally not the problem. It's the length of his spear and the gank of his soldiers. And our Physic tier. We're 15% more vulnerable to physical damage, and I will use it for every fight because it's the Spidey sense, so I don't want anyone saying, why wouldn't you just not use it? When used properly, it's better, but I gotta get used to it. After 6 deaths, I decided we just need to go get some more power. Back in Altus, we grabbed the Bell Bearing 2 and the Smithing Stone 5 from the Sealed Tunnel. Quick Smithing Stone from the Broken Statue by more Sentinels, and a free Smithing Stone 4 on the way to the Lernia Erdtree Avatar. This one has a bunch of Minotaurs around it, but if you get in and kill it fast enough, they won't aggro. There we can get the Lightning Shrouded tier for 20% more lightning damage. Probably better than the Dex boost, though not by much, since again, Dex boosts your lightning damage. We level up our punchers a bit more, then head back to the boss and wait, there's a summon here? Apparently. Let's bring Silk to the party. She's really fast and will help us deal with the gank. After around 2/3 of his health, O'Neill summons some bigger boys and Silk dies. But eventually we finish it off safely, get some medicine for Mary Jane. Old Man Peter Parker will fix the medicine. Then we can horse Peter Parker up to light a lamp in Celia and make our way to the Church of the Plague. MJ is feeling under the weather, and I don't want to blame her, but she is in the Church of the Plague. Maybe go, I don't know, anywhere else? She goes to Old Man Spider-Man's house, then he's gone. They should put a Grace here so I don't have to run up from the swamp every time. Then she goes to Altus and wants an arm. There's one in the Shaded Castle behind another Clean Rot Knight.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
We give the prosthesis to MJ and we've run enough errands for her that Old Man Pete is on our side and will teach us the Pest Threads spell. While we have webs to shoot, we have nothing with which to shoot them. So we'll scoot through some more poop in the Fringe Folk hero's grave. It takes a bit to avoid the chariot, but once you learn how it works, it's not that bad. There's a Wind Knight at the end that drops the Dragon Communion seal, which scales with Faith and Arcane. Since the Faith requirement for the Pest Threads is only 11, means we can mostly invest in Arcane, which is just a better stat since it also increases your holy resistance for all of the endgame bosses and item discovery for Pickle Feet. Oh, and it weighs nothing, so it doesn't affect our equip load or our Blue Dancer Charm boost. And it's leveled up with Somber Stones, which are faster to get. There's a few Somber Stones and regular Smithing Stones in the Celia Crystal Tunnel, and it's the Spider Island arc. There's just too many spider spider persons here. Spider people, persons, spider, I don't know what the plural is. There's also the Faith's Canvas Talisman, which boosts incantation damage by 3%, and that's not a lot. We probably won't use it. The Rhino is kind of a fun boss though. We start with some stance damage from jump attacks, then try the webs. They do well, even though we haven't invested in our seal yet. That's because every individual thread gets a damage boost from the blue Dancer Charm. It's going to be very, very good later. More stones in the Altus Tunnel, Somber Stone 5, and some Crystallians that are just as easy to kill as the first one. If we head up Mount Gelmir, we can get a Somber Stone 6 and level up the seal instantly. Now it's time to show off how good those webs are. Grail is a dragon, and this spell is apparently great against big enemies. Wait. This is terrible. Oh no. And our physic tier weakens us. Let's go get another weakness.
Anyone can wear the mask.
First, I want to head to the X Mansion, but we have to kill a dragon first. I start off punching the toes, but really should have gone for the head. It's not a big deal. The webs do more damage to Smaragd than Grail. Maybe that's just an endgame dragon for us. Finish it off with some big headshots, and Spider-Man has killed another dragon. Through an invisible wall and into Raya Lucaria, we get turned into a porcupine, but don't die on the way to the Red Wolf. It doesn't have a lot of health, but it's just too fast for our webs. Not too fast for a fist though, so we just swing away. Not web swinging, fist swinging, sorry, I know that could be confusing. Upstairs, we can scoop up the Radigan icon for faster spellcasting. The Pest Threads are already pretty fast, so it's even better. Captain America is under Emma Frost's psychic control, so we aim for his legs. The webs break his shield, letting us get in for a crit. Parry that, you filthy casual. We kill Captain America.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
Then head upstairs to take on Emma Frost. She took over the X-Mansion, and even though we can't be an X-Man, we'll still help out. We beat up a few kids she has mind controlled and punch her when she lands. It's almost a one cycle for phase 1, not quite though. I summoned Peter for phase 2, she summons wolves, but come on wolves? Sweetie, you have a dragon, why are you summoning wolves? She doesn't die, just changes her ways and promises to throw sick parties. That's what the X-Mansion should be for. The wall crawler needs to crawl on a wall, so let's go to Mount Gelmir and head up some ladders. What a thrill. Madam Web is set up in Volcano Manor. We need to poke through it a bit to find our mask, the Albinauric Mask. Anyone can wear the Albinauric Mask. You just have to understand that the extra 4 arcane you get comes at a penalty of 10% less flask healing. With great power comes drink responsibly. Wait. That's not the expression. Time to fight Thanos. Spidey assembles the Avengers. The Thing, Thor, Chunky Iron Man, Werewolf by Night, and girl. Thanos' gravity attacks hit hard, really hard. We technically aren't quite naked anymore, but we basically are and have the damage penalty, so yeah, we died. Reassemble the Avengers. Our webs actually deal some decent damage. We get them to phase 2, but still get squashed. Phase 2 is harder. Next time we do a little better, using all of our web fluid and finishing it off with some solid punches and a lot of friends. But I wouldn't mind a new friend, and maybe one who isn't just another Spider-Man. Let's dive into Thanos' hole and head into Nokron. There we can scoop up the Ghost Glovewort Bell-Bearing 1 and fight Venom. He's like Spider-Man, but slimier. Unfortunately, he just can't deal damage, so we get guard counters with the fists, which look pretty cool incidentally, I've never seen that. The webs are also pretty good for an NPC type fight. The tracking on them is solid and they stay out long enough to catch the rolls. Nice. Time for the Agatha quest. You might have thought Ronnie would be Madam Web, but no, it's Tanith. This is Agatha all along. Up through Carrier Manor, Kate Bishop is weak to lightning, so we can just punch her off her horse pretty fast. Say hi to Agatha, go back underground for the Glovewort 10 and the Fingerslayer Blade, get the Carrion Study Hall statue, go there, guess I haven't learned I don't have to do that yet, then to the Ainsel River main, avoid some Hank Pym failed experiments, find 8 Golden Rune 10s. Wait, have those been here every time? It's like a full level. I've never grabbed these before. Oh no. Say hi to Symbiote from Demon's Holes, grab the Somber Stone 7, and 2 more Gloveworts for a fancier Spirit Ash. We have some bosses to kill before we can get that special friend. Gilka isn't necessary, but the Ritual Sword Talisman is nice. It will help with Ghost Rider, who we can slam with jump attacks to get into phase 2. Stance breaking actually doesn't matter since you can't crit mounted enemies. So in phase 2, I just start spamming some webs and Peter dies. Sad day. We still get our win and we can head into New York, baby! The greatest city in the world! There's just so much in this city you can't find anywhere else, like an Erd Tree avatar. I mean, there are, every part of the world has Erd Tree avatars, I guess. But there are golden fireflies. Oh, those are in Limgrave too. The Ritual Sword Talisman is only here. That'll give you more defense at full health, pretty good, especially when your defenses are garbage. Oh, and the Fortified Mana, which has the Sanctified Wetblade. That'll let you do lightning infusions, even if your Ash of War isn't lightning. It's good because I'm tired of using the Sonic the Hedgehog Ash of War. Kingpin time. I'm actually gonna do, oh, I died already. Oh no. Next try, he's weak to lightning, so it's pretty good. Big slams, critical hit, not actually all that much to talk about. We also don't have to talk about hopping on the bed to shoot ropes at the Black Knife Assassin until they die. I mean, I don't want to put any more double entendres in the video than I have to. Morg Osborn, the Goblin King, is next, and we can summon Gwen and Pete. We get an early stance break, but have to get our web spacing correct. Wasting web fluid is a bit of a no-no. After I died, I realized there were some other things I could do to make the fight easier. First, instead of Sonic the Hedgehog, what if I got the Golden Vow? It not only boosts our damage, but our defense to make up for the penalty on the Windy Tier. Then the Somber Stone 8, so we can get our seal up to +9. Now let's show Norman who's boss. Jump attacks, Golden Vow. Peter got in my way, I couldn't move and I died. Shit. Here's the winning run. I Golden Vow the whole team. Spideys do work best as a team. We then get the stance break but can't critically hit since he's got Goblin Blades in front of him. That sucks. Then we waste some webs. That also sucks. Hitting the webs is much better with our +9 seal. Pete dies first. He's only at +2, so that's actually not all that surprising. I could have gone to level him up more, but he's about to be replaced. Gwen dies, but like also not surprising. It's Gwen. She's the Kenny McCormick of the Marvel Universe. We're still able to finish it off, and Gwen is already alive again, offering to sacrifice herself to burn down the Erd Tree. We get it, Gwen. You die a lot. Speaking of dead things, we can now fight the Fell Twins. Pete takes on one, I take on the other. It's not all that bad for us. Pete dies. Yeah, glad we've got a new buddy now with the Omen Killer Rolo Ashes. He's got 2 swords, always wears a mask, and is a little bit lost in the sauce. Welcome to the party, Wade Wilson. Let's level him up with some good Ghost Glovewort. Now, it's truly the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh, Spidey bells swinging through Midtown.
Into the Forbidden Lands on the way to the mountaintops of the Giants, where we'll get the Spidey Bell Bearing 3 so we can level up the punchers and the web shooters again. I forgot that we had to meet up with MJ and Altus. She's in the Moon Knight Village where we can fight Moon Knight. An old lady joins us as well, not an issue.
I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get these crayons.
Since we have Deadpool and MJ with us. Now we can forget to meet up with her again in the mountaintops of the Giants. Whoops. Before going on a big old grinding run. We're gonna get so full of runes that we'll be full to bursting. Erd Tree Avatar in the mountaintops doubles his hitbox halfway through, which just doubles the damage that we deal. It's funny. Obviously 2 bosses should be harder, but if they share a health bar, they just die faster. Borealis is next. For once, we don't ignore Realis, and instead score Realis a big win with some webs to the face. That makes me think Grail could be better now. Remember how it went earlier? Well, here's how it goes now. That's a lot better. Took literally a minute. After popping that pickle, we ride down to the Putrid Avatar and kill it in less than 3 minutes, so we didn't even need to use a second pickle. Last boss is the Beastmen duo in the Dragon Barrow Cave. A stupid dog followed us into the first one and made me look bad. Ooga booga booga. Second attempt, we kill the small beast, then the big one. Let's go make some actual progress. For that, we have to fight Nile, an upgraded, meaner, leaner O'Neil from earlier. Like O'Neil, he's gonna kill us a lot. Here's some reasons why. First, the 2 soldiers can 2-shot us and outnumber us 3-2. Number 2, Nile has a huge range with his spear. I'm actually pretty good at avoiding the AoEs. It's the follow-ups that I think are kind of baloney. Keep in mind, Deadpool is fully leveled up and will last much longer against later bosses. Nile just hits really, really hard. After 3 deaths, we get it on our 4th attempt. Here's how that went. We bring out Deadpool and Vow before we start to plow. The dual wielder goes down pretty quickly, then the Shield Knight before Deadpool dies. Now we're alone and I just run away and spam the webs until we ran out of web fluid. Then I had to slam some jump attacks to break the stance for 2 quick crits. Haligtree Medallion acquired. Heading back to talk to MJ, I found a new golden seed that I didn't know about. I'm gonna use that in future runs for sure. The other Haligtree Medallion is being held by an old man who dies. Sad. Then Ensha fights us and he dies. Less sad. I loved the Christmas area of this game. There's only one thing that could be better.
Oh, what fun to sling a web and take the bad guys down.
The Consecrated Snowfield is the second snow world in a FromSoft game. They're already so famously fun. Anastasia tries to cut us up and eat some spider meat, but after the webbing doesn't hit her, I just use punches. Punches are good. They're better than big butcher knives. She drops an ancient somber smithing stone and we can max out our web shooters, then web up the Putrid Avatar incredibly fast. That'll give us the Thorny tier for up to a 20% damage boost from our combos. Might as well grab some runes from the Magma Worm, teaming up with Dr. Octopus, normally not a Spidey thing to do. Doc Ock likes to break the stance, letting letting us web up the head for some major damage. Deadpool and Doc Ock do die, but we get the win through some punching. I did that for the runes, but I also did it to delay going to the Christmas tree, since I kinda hate it there. We have to get through the liturgical town first, which is also not fun. We get killed by an archer, then stabbed by Sue Storm. This must be the Ultimates universe, pretty edgy to give Sue Storm a switchblade. Oof. Now we can head up the giant Christmas tree, grab the grace, accidentally what-up Danger into a pit and die, then successfully what-up Danger for the shortcut before we take on a Meteor Kate Bishop. This one's a little different than the one in Carrion Manor, mostly because she's susceptible to status effects. That means that Deadpool can get a bleed and we can stack some lightning punches since she's still weak to lightning. After using our spider senses to avoid all of her spam, we can power through to get the win. LFL is not all that fun. MJ doesn't want to help us with the first clean route night, but she does say she's close to finding her mom, or sister, or grandmother, she's not sure. We get to jump around on rooftops like Spider-Man. We make it past the ballista, but don't make it past the putrid avatar the first time. Second time, we do, but I died 3 times going back for my runes. Spider-Man is poor. I can't afford to let a bunch of money just sit there on the ground. We scoop past the poop waterfall and get ready for our biggest challenge. Not this Spider-Man that kills me. I mean, that sucks, but no, it's the putrid tree spirit, like from the Kratos run last week. This one just has beyond endgame damage, hangs out in a poop swamp, and is next to a cliff. So it can kill you with gravity, rot, or just its own absurdly high damage. After dying 4 times, the 4th time, I honestly don't even know what hit me. Someone in chat gave me a helpful tip. You can just back up to the branch you dropped down from and hit it with ranged attacks.
What are you doing up there?
Staying away from you.
Brilliant. If you actually have helpful advice, join me on Twitch. If your advice is dodge better or use a weapon that the character doesn't use, don't join me on Twitch. With the tree spirit cleared out, we can help MJ on her final mission, killing all of her sisters. First attempt, I died to gravity, incorrectly assuming there were fog walls that stopped you from rolling off. I thought this was a cage match. Second Bonesaw reference. One of her sisters has the webs, but that's our move. MJ proves she's the stronger member of the couple by killing more of her sisters than we do, then she dies and gives us the rotten Winged Sword Insignia. It's bittersweet because death is bitter, but that talisman boosting our damage after combo is pretty sweet. Let's demonstrate on the fire giant. So after a full combo pairing the Thorny tier with the rotten Winged Insignia, Blue Dancer Charm, and Ritual Sword Talisman, we're getting around a 67% damage boost. That applies to every twine of the Pest Threads, since it's for physical damage, and those deal mostly physical damage. We died the first time, hey, it's Fire Giant. He hits really hard. But the second time, look at that damage in phase 2. Dude gets sent to the Shadow Realm. After that, Gwen dies again. Classic Gwen move. This time burning down the Erd Tree, which means it's time for endgame. Titan first. It was Thanos' home, and it was beautiful. Now, kind of a shithole. We parkour through the runes and make our way to the Godskin duo, summoning Hercules and Deadpool for a threesome Marvel is too cowardly to put to film. We web up the large lad until he begins phase 2. You might think Spider-Man fears the rollout. It's a rock-type move, we're a bug-type Pokemon, more Pokemon next week. But after getting up on a column, that's free damage, baby. Another chunky, another skinny. Triple teaming is just so effective, they don't get to play. It's kind of the reverse of how the fight normally goes. They drop the last Spidey bell bearing to let us max out our fists, then we can make a run to Kraven. It's a swag jump. Obviously, that's free as Spider-Man. Dragon Crest Shield Talisman for some physical defense, more than making up for the Windy tier penalty, and a sprint past some birds. Oh, also there's another Ghost Rider, the Draconic 3 Sentinel. After building a combo, we start spamming webs, then really just run away and spam webs. No armor isn't a problem if you don't plan on getting hit. Kraven is always a threat. We summon Deadpool and get the early stance break. But do we crit? No, that's a trap. Instead, I get a Speedy Spidey combo going to boost our damage to absurd levels for phase 2. Look at these webs. Look at that damage. Look at that lack of magic. Whoops. Jump attacks should finish it off nicely.
New York is covered in ash because local menace Spider-Man burned down the Rockefeller Christmas tree.
J. Jonah Jameson is pissed and he's our next boss. Thankfully, he's just like a guy, so Deadpool's big slams stop him from moving and our webs can track him down to stop him from moving. With killing.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
Kingpin is a bit more tricky since his slams are strong enough to break the ground. Obviously, we're trying to build up a combo, but it's hard to find a safe window to do that. Also, sometimes I forget to build the combo on a stance break and get a crit instead. I mean, crits are fine, but the combos are Spider's bread and butter. As he begins charging his transition slam to phase 1.5, I do get a few combos and skip us to phase 2. We got so close, but we were just shy of getting a first try win. Next time, we get the combo, we get the stance break, we get the crit. Whoops. Should have gotten more of a combo, but it's worth noting that the multiplier does apply to critical hit damage too. Phase 2 starts and my spacing is just off on those webs. We're missing some early sprays. Once we get it down though, it's easy enough to just keep our distance and spam him up. Before we kill God, it turns out we forgot to fight one of our classic foes, Dr. Octopus. He has too many arms, but he's also kind of an early boss, so it's pretty much free. With that, we get Godric's Great Rune to boost all our stats by 5. Spider-Man is the ultimate Mary Sue after all. We obviously dislike every character who's good at everything and didn't train. Yup, sure do.
Has nothing to do with gender, I'm sure.
One last piece of power we can grab is from Old Man Spider-Man. He's really sad that MJ died, so we reunite them in the afterlife.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
Now we have the Flock's Canvas Talisman for an 8% damage boost to our incantations, misleading since it's 8% on every thread of the Pest Threads. Only one more boss to show it off on, let's have some fun. We summon Deadpool, vow, and begin to plow. For Thor, I'm sticking with jump attacks to get the stance break off and some critical hits. The first time it works, but the second time it doesn't, because he has AoEs that pop after the initial hit. It's delayed hits and AoEs all in one attack. Really makes sense why he's the final boss of Elden Ring. Still, we made it to phase 2, and gamers, phase 2 is glorious. I probably didn't have to do it this way, but I thought it would end up with the most damage possible, and I think I was right. Step 1, break the stance. Jump and charged attacks. Ideally, Deadpool would live to distract the beast, but he dies. Oh well. The rings are a pain in the ass since they reset my combo counter. Still, by the time we get a stance break, we have a decent enough combo to erase a god with the power of spiderwebs. I have seen the face of God, and it is a face that fears this Spidey lad. All told, we took 7 hours and 42 minutes to kill 37 bosses and die 31 times. That'll put this in B tier, right behind Wonder Woman, though there are some tools from this I think belong on an S tier run. First, Pest Threads are so good with low equip load, since that blue Dancer Charm boost makes them absurd. The Windy tier is an interesting way to play. I don't think it's good or bad, just different. Even in medium load, you have 31 iframes, so it's worth considering. Just put some armor on. Obviously, getting naked makes things harder, even if that makes it more fun to shoot ropes. If you want to watch me make more double entendres live, follow me on Twitch. I make bad jokes while playing Elden Ring all the time. If you want to support me with money, join my Patreon. If you like Dungeons & Dragons, check out my other channel. I build characters over there too.